What's up everyone, this is Joey, Blush Response, and today we're checking out the Make Noise Multimod. Let's get right into it. Alright, so we got the Make Noise Multimod here. This is a really cool and interesting new module from Make Noise, who I have to say always deliver the goods when it comes to new ideas within modular, new concepts, new explorations, just new ways to mess with your sound. So how do I explain the multimod? The simplest way is it is basically 8 audio buffers that you can spread within time and pitch and use for both modulation and processing audio. They advertise it as a modulation source, but I honestly think it's super interesting for audio. Right now, I've got 4 outputs of it patched into this Vivisect I have from Animal Factory. And then which are going to modulate this very, very simple Laquelicateritas Percedo sound. So you can see the lights here, they're lighting up, they're all synced because I reset them. The shape is set to red, which in Make Noise's manual says that it's a forward buffer. So straight forward reading of the buffer, and then when it's in its internal LFO mode, that's a ramp. You change the shape to get different wave shapes for the LFO. And you can see when I turn up the attenuators, that would be my one thing, is that there's no attenuation on the output, but so you see I'm getting identical modulation on all 4 parameters of my Laquelic. But now I can spread them, and you see that the modulation changes. The lights are going different rates, and then I can shift them out of phase, because spread basically makes certain ones faster, certain ones slower. Phase shifting keeps everything at the same rate that they're at, but moves them out. So like if you had 2 drummers playing the same speed, but starting at different times. So even though they're technically the same speed, it's a cacophony. And you can see all the lights shift. And it has 8 outputs. I'm using 4 just for the sake of this sound. And then time, of course, is your overall time. Lower the tuning on that. Yep. Faster times, slower times. You have, it can be clocked, you can reset it, you can hold the buffer, and that will freeze the current value. Very simple, very easy to understand, very easy to use. I'm a fan of that. And then, you know, your different shapes. When you have audio going into it, the different shapes create different buffers, like backwards, random selection, ping pong, etc., etc. So it's fun to experiment with a different shape. Just hitting a low C there. Just adjusting the modulation amounts with the Vivisect, which is one of the most useful modules in my entire system. I use it all the time. We'll adjust the time again. With some mimeophone. We got some movement, and we can even put that one of those outputs into the micro jack here. Or no, we'll use the mix out from the Vivisect. So really interesting stuff. Great for slow evolution. It's just a great modulation source. My previous favorites are like the Modken Quad LFO and the Kermit from Industrial Music Electronics, but I think the fact that this can take anything and turn it into a modulation source really opens it up for me. So if I had to make one for a small case, I would pick this one, and that's why it's in my live case right now. special announcement. I just did a live set for Hooer Berlin. It's up on their channel, and the full recording is up on my Bandcamp. As well as I'm going on tour with Frontline Assembly, playing synths with them again. We're going through the UK and Malta. Dates right here in April, so catch you there. Back to it. So I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of the way it operates. We're just gonna patch more outputs here just to have some more dramatic modulations. We're gonna send the clock output to flip the Mimeo phone. Then we're gonna send more outputs to do zone modulation. And maybe we'll modulate that filter too. We'll send another one to do rate, turn on that skew, and another one for halo. So that's interesting modulation on all the sounds, all provided by the Multimod. That's affecting both the Laquelic and the Mimeo phone. Spread them out. Faster time. Now, interestingly, if you feed it an oscillator, like I'm just gonna take a sine wave out from the XPO, then you have all that shit going on with audio rate. And then it gets wild. So I'm popping an oscillator right into that input, and then really crazy. And you could, again, stretch that time. And then we're in that soupy, textural territory. It's fucking the shit out of the Laquelic. Make a sequence. And it's also completely demolishing the Mimeo phone. So really cool as a modulation source, and there's like a very, I'd say very fresh sound right off the bat. Off of that sequence. Remember, and we could turn the modulation down on that. So nothing is going to the Laquelic right now, as you can see. But the Mimeo phone is totally freaking out. Wild. But now I want to show you something else. And this is something I found. Bear with me for a moment while I repatch, because this to me is one of the more exciting things I found with it. And honestly, I would argue that maybe it's even better for this purpose than for anything else. Which is that I'm gonna take the outputs and I'm gonna plug them all into a mixer, and then I'm gonna feed audio into that, and you're gonna see how fucking insane it sounds as an audio processor. And when I started doing this blew my mind way more. This was honestly way cooler. Like, it's a cool LFO, don't get me wrong, but let's talk about the audio. Let me just repatch here. Yeah, take all that out. Ooh, girl, you're taking those patch cables out. All right, I'm a silly man, and I'm proud. All right, we're gonna patch a couple more outputs out. Yes. All right. More patch cables are necessary. Okay, and then we're also gonna take, well, we're gonna take my favorite. We need another submix. Hold on, because this is a lot here. Where are my mixers? Problem with having a big system is I forget where the fuck everything is at times. All right, we're gonna do 5 outputs actually, and we're gonna get the last one. And then here, we're gonna go back into that Mimeo phone. Thank you for bearing with me. Now, So I've got the Pulsar 23 going in there, right? And that's just the dry Pulsar. Which is, well, it's the fucking Pulsar 23. But now I'm gonna mix the outputs of the Multimod which are also being fed the Pulsar. And then you have this insane buffer thing. There's no external effects happening right now. Like no effects from the Pulsar. And that's wild. And then, you know, you can clock it, so I'm gonna feed it some clock right now. And some reset into that reset jack. And then we're gonna go one level deeper. We're gonna have it modulate itself. I'm gonna have one of the outputs go into time. And you hear, like, if I bring all those down, this is the simplest Pulsar sequence. There's nothing happening. We're gonna keep patching CV into that, where we're gonna bring it back up. And we have like instant beat remixing. I'm gonna patch another output into spread. Alright, maybe that modulation is getting too wild. We're gonna pop out of there, take all that out. Oh! Taking out the modulation was definitely the idea, with that little reverse. Take out the reset. Oh. Just to like the all those little spurts and sputters. I'm all about that. Here, I'm gonna turn down. This is like the ultimate buffer scrubber. I turn down the distortion of the Pulsar, so that's where we're feeding it. We're gonna make that beat even simpler. Buffer's back. And then just for kicks, we're gonna go. $180. $183. Do you hear that reversing shit will change shape? Wild. So it's just making complete beat deconstructions again. And then bringing mimephone. So if you ever want a buffer scrub all day and night, and take yourself to weird places in your life, this is the way. Oh boy, I'm having a great time with this one. The first night I got this, I immediately put the pulsar into it, and I just spent like an hour with my jaw dropping, like, no way, you know? The chaos was real, and it is real right now with the Multimod. Yeah. There we go. Killing it. And then now we're gonna go one level deeper. We're gonna feed it a woggle bug, because I like to be a silly man and see what happens. Spreading that phase, woggling that time. And it's starting, it's stopping, it's sputtering, out of control, spreading. I took out the dry, this is just the... That's just the buffers. Freeze it. Change the shape. Unfreeze. Change the rate of the modulation. Bring back the dry. So if you ever want to squeegee a window really effectively, get a Multimod. Bring back the distortion, because come on guys, who are you talking to? Freaking! We're gonna get even crazier. We're gonna send that mimephone out to reset it. That's so fucking insane sounding. The answer is yes. Yes, I have been abducted by aliens. It happened right now. By the way, mimephone, come on, come on. $250 BPM. What fucking chaos. That's the dry again. Bringing the buffers back. Unplug modulation. It's also really good unmodulated. Make Noise Multimod. So that was sick. I think the Multimod is awesome and amazingly useful both as a modulation device and an audio manipulation source, mainly because you get 8 outputs for its LFOs or whatever you want to feed through it. There's a lot of experimentation that can be done with putting different things into it and seeing how they react. I could imagine a gate stream could be pretty cool. I just thought of that now and haven't even tried that. As you saw, it completely fucks with audio, and it's just a great set of LFOs too. Like, you really can't go wrong. I could see a situation where you also put different envelopes through it in different phases. That also just came to mind now. There's a million ways to use this thing, and that's what I like about Make Noise and their approach, is that they provide sort of atomic level tools that you can use as building blocks to make more complex patches, and that is an approach that really descends from Serge, and Serge being the genius that he is, it's nice to see a maker following that ethos and even further innovating. Every time Make Noise comes out with something new, it's got fresh ideas, and I'm so happy that they sent me this one to try out because I think it's fucking awesome. And I was using it in my live set at Hor. Check that out if that came out. Hor. I can never pronounce that right, and it's kind of a dicey name. And I'm going to be using it a lot more live. I had mentioned that I'm the LFO, but then I thought, what if I LFO the LFO? And so I put it in a live case, and it took it to another level. So samples of this jam and others are going to be up on my Patreon as always. If you want to support me, check out my Bandcamp, check out my music. Come see me on tour with Frontline Assembly this spring, and come to one of my solo gigs. There's going to be more coming up soon as well, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.